All right, guys, I'm the second affirmative in this case. My opponent's first statement was that raising the minimum wage will help unemployment, or actually it won't affect unemployment, meaning that unemployment rates won't go down, or go up, I suppose. And I found on procon.org that from an employer's perspective, people with lowest skill levels cannot justify higher wages. A study by Jeffrey Clemens, PhD, and Michael J. Wither, PhD, found that minimum wage increases result in reduced average monthly incomes for low-skilled workers, $100 less during the first year following a minimum wage increase, and $50 over the next 2 years due to reduction in employment. So essentially what that's saying is that companies aren't going to keep the same number of employees. Due to that wage increase up to $15 an hour, they're going to pay their workers $15 an hour, but they're going to have to lay off other employees to keep up with the money that they're making now, or else they'll lose money having all of the other employees hired that may not necessarily need to be there. Also raising the minimum wage increases competition for jobs. So if the minimum wage increases, overly qualified individuals will be trying to get minimum wage positions, which means that people that are second, third, fourth, fifth year in college, they're going to be applying for the same jobs that high school graduates are trying to get into. And that means that they won't have jobs. So in a way, it does increase unemployment because these people that really need these jobs, the people that these jobs are meant for at McDonald's and places like that that do give you minimum wage pay, those jobs will no longer be available to people that really need them. Her second claim is that more spending occurs with higher wages, and this just takes a little bit of thinking here. If there are higher wages, that's true, but like I said previously, all businesses are, well, I shouldn't say all businesses. The typical fashion for these businesses are going to be to increase their prices to keep up with this wage increase. I know the place that I work at now said that the $15 minimum wage increase is going to basically just destroy the company because they'll have to increase their prices by at least $1. And that doesn't sound like very much, but $1 when you have just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of customers a day, that will add up very quickly. Also, like making more of a reason for them to lay off more employees. Her third claim is that it actually helps the lower class. See, the problem with that is that the cost of living will rise, I guess I should say. So raising the minimum wage will increase the cost of childcare. So according to Ginny Trueller, PhD, founder of Master in Mission, she says that, I will say that I am supportive of raising the minimum wage to a living wage, however, the daycare presents a particular problem. A large percentage of daycare staff tend to be paid poverty wages, yet the cost of care is high, especially for infants, and often very burdensome for parents. She explains that if the minimum wage is raised, the cost of daycare would go up, and she estimates the wage expenses, which represent the majority of daycare expenses, would increase more than 20%. So people with children in the audience, help me out a second. How much do you pay for someone to take care of your child? Anybody?
It's been a while.
Nobody?
$100 a week.
All right. So I know that I have friends that babysit things like that. They average like $20 an hour. So if you increase that by 20%, that's another $4. $4 a week, or $4 a day, $4 an hour. Sorry. That's going to be like a $100 increase a week. Okay, and then raising the minimum wage also increased housing costs. My opponent also brought that up in a separate point, which I believe should be more here, where it helps the lower class. Let's see here. According to Alan Greenblatt, the cities that have adopted $15 per hour minimum wage have already are already some of the country's most expensive places to live. One of these places is Seattle. Washington has already accepted this bill. And some economists are concerned that increased incomes will put more pressure on housing markets in these areas. So, once again, with the increase in the minimum wage, you aren't going to be able to spend more because you're spending it like that extra money on daily bills, on your house payment, on everything that you need daily. Costs in stores go up, cost of food goes up. If you shop mainly in small businesses, if you live in a small town, prices are just going to go through the roof. And her last one was that, excuse me. Another one was that raising the minimum wage helps the lower class. That is not true. Raising the minimum wage actually hurts low-income families. According to Throw Up Magazine, some experts claim that the minimum wage hike is not sufficient for many low-income families to cover their living costs anyways, and the rise in prices as a result of the hike would cancel out any increase in their disposable income. So that just further sets my foundation. I'm saying that more spending will not occur with an increase in the minimum wage. Raising the minimum wage also hurts the middle class. According to the same source, the biggest victims of inflation are the middle class. According to Pew Research Center, 3.3 million workers earn the minimum wage, constituting a mere 2.6% of all wage and salary workers in the U.S. So the majority of workers do not benefit from the minimum wage increase that they are focused to take on higher prices due to inflation. Once again, just setting my foundation that spending does not go up with an increase in the minimum wage due to higher costs. It will also reduce investment in companies. Steve Kaplan, a professor at University of Chicago, is one of the economists polled in September by ABC News. And he opposes the $15 minimum wage. He called the increase a terrible idea, arguing that it will cost jobs and reduce investment in companies. What happens if people stop investing in companies is that they almost immediately have to increase their prices. Because if they have less people actually physically going to the stores and they have less people investing in stock, they're just making fractions and fractions of the money that they were before. Thank you.